All right. It is time. It is time again. Welcome to the Savvy pre-show. I'm David Wilson, the Business Savage. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination pre-show here on Facebook Live. So welcome to all of our viewers on Facebook. Welcome to all of our viewers on YouTube. Welcome to all of our viewers on Periscope, Twitter, and welcome to our viewers on Twitch, our Twitchers. So welcome everyone. We are here for the pre-show. We got a great show. Got a great show coming up this week on No Nonsense Market Domination. The name of this show is Whoa, this growth is out of control. Whoa, this growth is out of control. So we are following right along in season 6, going through the stages of business. So as you know, here at IBGR.network, we are by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. We talk about 6 stages of business: pre-startup, startup, growth, hockey stick growth, slow and steady, nice and easy. That's just your business is on automatic, company's on automatic, making money, everything's going great, to the sale. So selling the company. And that's what we have. Today, we're going to be talking about hockey stick growth. And I will tell you that we have a big surprise coming up towards the end, in the last segment of the show, because we're going to blow up a misconception. We're going to blow up a misconception about who can experience hockey stick growth. Who can experience hockey stick growth? And you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised because we're going to have an example of someone of a company that you didn't expect to be able to experience hockey stick growth. All right, so it's going to be fun. Again, let me make sure I thank all of our first-time viewers here on the Savvy Show. So welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. Well, hopefully it won't be your last time, right? But if it's your first time, welcome. Oh wow! So we have spam already from YouTube coming through. That's cool. No big deal. The one thing, let me go ahead and thank our returning viewers. Thank you. Welcome. Returning viewers. And before I forget, last but not least, our in-studio engineer for the Savvy Show, Steve Namin. You see me? Yes. Steve, welcome. So we do have, while I am thankful for longtime listener Anoint Ashore, who joins us every week, we see that she has spammed the show with a comment. And I always say, so I am open to feedback. We are always open to feedback. If it is good, if it's not good feedback, we don't want it. We're just going to delete it. We're going to delete it, and we're going to ignore it. But I will say this to, it looks like Ms. Anoint, never, ever, ever heckle the guy with the mic. Never heckle the guy with the mic. So while you may have gotten that in the comment block, stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. So we should be nice and clear. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go to Avatar. Oh, before we do that, let's get a little IBGR business to you guys. Did you know there's an app? So some of you may be listening. Some of you right now during the pre-show are watching me do the pre-show for the Savvy Show on your phone or on your personal computer. So why is that funny? Oh, because I said personal computer. Okay, that's what it's called, right? It's personal computer. What, laptop? Okay, fine. All right. So you might be watching on your cellular phone. You might be watching on your personal computer. In any case, there's an app. So IBGR has an app. You can download the app. Just go to your favorite app store for Apple or your favorite app store for Android and search for IBGR. You can download the app and you can listen. You can actually listen to the radio. So you listen to IBGR.network, which is actually, and in fact, an internationally broadcast business radio station, which is why we're called Internet Business Growth Radio. Right? So that's the tip off there. And you can listen to any of the on-air talent, any of the shows you want. You can listen to the Savvy Show, of course. The best part about having the app, and you'll get a kick out of this, is that you can have me, the Savvy, in the palm of your hand at any time. Yes. And that's a big bonus. That's a big bonus. All right. Enough of this. We're gonna move into our show. Let's do our checks. So we're gonna go to Avatar. We're gonna do our sound check. We're gonna do our video check, do our lighting check, and such. And then we'll be right back. I'm not going anywhere. I will be here, and you'll hear me, and you'll hear Steve. You'll hear the rumblings of Steve as he's doing whatever it is he does at the station. Okay, here we go. All right, soundboard check. Yep. All right, sound check is done. All right, let's do our mic check. Check. It's not good. Hold on. Check. No. So, yep. Well, if you turn it on. check. There we go. Okay. Nice job. No, we're good. Lighting check is good. So it's not all peaches and cream all the time back here. There's a lot of technical, high-level technical stuff going on behind the scenes. We are about 8 minutes to live. But rule number one in business ownership, make sure the machine is on, and that's going to solve a lot of problems. All right, so you have at your disposal a comment block wherever you are watching me right now. So you can put in a comment, hey, wow, that's great. We love you, Savvy. That would be cool if you put in there. And like I said, as long as it's positive. So anything negative, just keep that to yourself. Yeah, keep it to yourself because we don't want to hear it. And we don't want the negative vibration, right? We're all positively vibrating around here. So I'm excited about the show. If you don't already have your show notes, you can take a look in your post. So post on Facebook, post on YouTube, post on I think that's it. So on Twitch and on Twitter, you're going to need to go to ibgr.network, and you can go to my David. Listen, you can go to my landing page and get the show notes there. Excellent. So you can do that. So if you don't have them, let me go ahead and read you about this show. So on this show today, well, you asked for it, the hockey stick growth stage. That's good, right? Well, it depends. Were you prepared for it? Did you have systems in place to handle it? What about enough employees, cash flow, taxes, time? More money, more problems, huh? Well, we'll see. You have to tune into today's show to find out how these businesses fared pushing through this critical stage of business growth. And it is a critical stage of business growth. Do all businesses experience hockey stick growth? Probably not. I don't think so. Does it matter the size of the business to experience hockey stick growth? Well, stick around. You're going to find out whether that matters or not, and you'll find that out in the fourth segment of the show. We're also going to have our mailbag. I'm going to start the show with our mailbag, so that'll be exciting. We did that last week, and we had a jabroni write in, and just out of control. It was. She was out of control, and she was very, very disrespectful. But we took care of it. We took care of it because that's what business owners do. We don't care about naysayers, right? We don't care about naysayers. Also, you'll also know about my show. We talk about mindset. We also talk about physical strength of the entrepreneur. So we talked about that last season. Make sure you stay hydrated. So if you notice about my show, I always drinking water. Not always just water, but always at least water, right? Anyhow. All right, we are about 3 minutes to live. Let me go ahead and I'm going to turn up my show, the show. So again, IBGR is on 24/7, 365 internationally broadcast. So right now, I'm waiting, in fact, for the show before me to end so that we can plug right into the next show, Wednesday at 3, every single daggone week. So it's cool. All right, guys. Well, it's about that time. So we are going to go to Avatar, and we will be live in 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes to live, 2.5 minutes to live. We'll see you on the live side. All right. Stand by. Next week, what we're going to have is we're going to have one consulting up. Oh, wait. So I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. No nonsense market domination. Pre-show. Stand by. See, they told me to do that so that you'll know it's more professional. All right, stand by. Here we go. Oh, good grief. He's deep in there. All right. Last check. Check. Mike. That was cool. Okay. Yeah, that was neat. All right. We're ready to go. All right, Steve, you all set? Got the mailbag? All right. It's actually a bag. So so it's not. It's actually a mail bag. It's not like email or anything. All right. What do we got here? 2 minutes. Why do I always mess up the time? 2 minutes to live now. 2 minutes to live. You would think I can read numbers, right? All right. Last check. Lighting. Good. Makeup. No, just kidding. So I'm putting on. This is really high level. I'm gonna put lotion on to make sure, and then I have to make sure I'm not shiny on camera. This is all stuff that stars have to do. It's not that simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. Alrighty. Last check's complete. Here we go. We are live in 30 seconds. Steve, let's go. Have a good show. And here we go. All right. Here we go. 15 seconds to live. Let's have a good one. Roll call. All right. Thank you, Steve. Let's read today's mail. Hi, Mr. Savvy. Wow, Mr. Savvy. Oh, this is cool. All right. You have the best show in the world. You are the greatest. I love you. Lots. Please give Steve a raise. Signed, Anonymous, not Steve. Anonymous, not Steve, you blockhead. If you hadn't signed it, I may have bought into that. So no raise for you, Steve. Anyway, we have a show to do. We have a show to do, and you know what to do. You ready? Good. Then say my name. Savvy. We're in here. Let's go. I told you, never heckle the guy with the mic. Never heckle the guy with the mic. All right. Welcome to the Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. No nonsense market domination here on IBGR.network, Profit Radio. No matter what stage of business you are in, ladies and gentlemen, from pre-startup to startup, growth to hockey stick growth, which is really, really, really big growth, to slow and steady, nice and easy. This business is going great. I'm making money. I don't have to do too much anymore. It runs on its own. To I am ready to get this thing valuated so I can sell it. And yes, buy an island. To move there and sit on the beach with me and my 4 ferrets. So again, no matter what stage of business you're in, doesn't matter. You're in the right place, ladies and gentlemen. Come grow with us. Hey. Come grow with us. We are now broadcasting live from the capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia, USA, on No Nonsense Market Domination, so known as the Savvy Show. Again, I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. Today's show title, we are excited. It's called, Whoa, this growth is out of control. Whoa, this growth is out of control. That would be hockey stick growth. Before we get started, I want to shout out, of course, IBGR.network. All of you listening live, perhaps you have Savvy in the palm of your hand while you are listening today on the IBGR.network app. So welcome. Welcome to our live viewers on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. If you are a first time, excuse me, wow, let's take 2. If you are a first time viewer or listener to the Savvy Show, welcome. It's awesome. Although we are being broadcast in over, and this is true, we are broadcasting over 80% of the countries all over the world. There are still first-time viewers and listeners to the Savvy Show and to IBGR. So we certainly welcome you. And if you are a returning listener to the Savvy Show, bless you and welcome back. Welcome back. Wow, that took a long time. All right, so when we come back from break, just kidding. And for those of you who caught the opening, I will go ahead and introduce my in-studio engineer who I don't even know what the word is, who just so overtly faked a male faked the mailbag, hacked the mailbag to try to get himself an unjust benefit, a raise. Steve Namin Euphemi. It's just egregious conduct. Egregious. And I tell you what, you'll get a raise when you actually have a job description. So besides just showing up. All right, today's show. Whoa, this growth is out of control. Let me just hit you with this. Oh, wait, before I hit you with anything, let me thank our season sponsor. Our sponsor is NutriChamps. Many of you may be wondering, if you follow me on Insta, if you follow me on Facebook, wow, he deadlifts over 500 pounds. He squats 500 pounds. He hack squats over 1,000 pounds. He leg presses up. How does he do that? How does he do that? Nope. It's not a superpower. Not exactly. But I'm a big believer in we entrepreneurs and we business owners being as fit as possible, because we need to withstand all of the pressures of business ownership. And one of the ways I do that is through my friends at NutriChamps, nutrichamps.com. NutriChamps is where I get all my vitamins, supplements, minerals, cleansers, what have you. So go to nutrichamps.com, www.nutrichamps, nutrachamps.com, and you can use my code, the Savage One, THESAVAGE, the number one. Put that in after you fill up your cart. Put that in the coupon box, and you'll get free stuff. You'll get a discount, and you'll get a discount every time you use it. So you can use it as many times as you want, and you too can be a savage, like David Wilson is a savage. So hashtag champion your life with NutriChamps. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So here's the cliffhanger that I want you to remember. And this is going to keep you in suspense until the last segment. And that is when we're talking about hockey stick growth. When we think of hockey stick growth, we say in the beginning is really, really, really big growth. And we attribute that to really, really, really big companies. So many of us watching, most of you watching, most of you listening, I bet, don't have really, 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 really big companies. You might have big companies. You might have medium companies. You might have small companies, or it may just be you. I'm gonna call that a solopreneur. So it may just be you. And if it's just you, a lot of this is mindset, right? Oh well, that's all well and good, Savvy, but it's just me. Or I only have one employee. Well, listen, you are Dennis Green. Dennis Green was the coach of the Arizona Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken, at the time. And what'd you think about that? They were who we thought they were. So you are who you think you are. You are who you think you are. So if you think you're small, you're small. If you think you're big, you're big. And I think at all times we should be acting like who we want to be. So stick around. In the fourth segment, I'm going to dispel a myth about business size. And in this particular case, when it comes to hockey stick growth, size does not matter. And so we'll talk about that. So what causes hockey stick growth? Demand. That's it. So demand for what you're selling, demand for the solution you're providing. Sometimes, well, a couple of things. When we talked about this a little bit last week, we want to make sure here are the considerations as we're moving through a growth stage. It's more important in the hockey stick growth stage than it is in the growth stage, I think, because it's easier to adjust when there's not that much pressure. The pressure of because hockey stick growth can be intense, and that type of pressure is very difficult, much more difficult to adjust in hockey stick growth stage. But you want to consider the systems you have in place or don't have in place. Are you operating at capacity? So how much more can you do before before going into hockey stick growth, right? What are your goals for the business? Do you have the systems that you need in place, or do you need them to put them in place? And then, so those are internal considerations. And then you have external. So some external ones we can control, some external ones we cannot. One big, what's segment 2? Hold on. I just want to make sure I set this up right. Yeah. Okay. One we can control, one we cannot control of late was 19. So we could not control the pandemic. One of the things we could control was opportunities we take advantage of. So our next 2 segments, we're going to talk about I'm going to go over with you a business that had control. Well, the next segment did not have control. So how they reacted to what they couldn't control, COVID-19 pandemic. And then in the third segment, we're going to talk about a company that had control. They had control over the opportunities they were chasing. They had control over what they were seeking. And you'll see, you tell me if they could have done something differently, something better, then I'll tell you how they fared. So we will come back after the break with the locks and Savvy. We'll see you on the other side. Savvy. All right. Good set. That's good set. Yep. Alrighty. Excellent. Yeah, this is going to be, next segment is going to be interesting because this particular company in this particular industry, it kind of makes sense why this happened to them. But you'll find out that it didn't matter anyway. It didn't matter because they had to react to it. They were reacting to it. So many of you experienced different things due to COVID, and we'll see how they reacted to it, and we'll see what they did. All right, 2 minutes to live. 2 minutes to live, and we'll be back. Thank you for all of your meaningful comments that are in the chat. I appreciate that. Stay hydrated. Got 1 minute to live. So if you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, if you are in a growth stage, if your business is in a growth stage or hockey stick growth stage, and you want to plug into the system, you want to plug into my system and be one of those businesses that I've helped get through these different stages of growth, just go to www.gostartyouup.com. That's www.gostart, S-T-A-R-T, 2 U's, U-U, P as in Peter.com. And you can get started with your first Savvee session. That's what we call them. And we'll get to the bottom of what ails you, figure out what's going on, and what your next positive step will be. So excellent. Plug into the system. We are 30 seconds to live. Here we go. Cue the music. It's a long story. I am David Wilson. Welcome back to the Savvee Show. No nonsense market domination. I'm the Business Savage here on IBGR.network, Profit Radio. This is by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. So it's for you, the listener, the business owner, the entrepreneur. No matter what size of your business, no matter what stage of business you're in, we have some piece of information somewhere in our network that can help you. So you are in the right place. Come grow with us. Oh, please come grow with us. Okay. No, they're not coming to get me. It's cool. They might, but not yet. My door's locked. So. Whoa, this growth is out of control. Whoa, this growth is out of control. I mentioned at the top of the hour that hockey stick growth can be very, very, very intense. It can be very intense. It can be very, very fun. So it can be a heck of a ride. You know, next thing you're sitting down, right? And everything is going well. You have this company that's going well. Then all of a sudden, it's just like up, and it's just so quick. And next thing you know, you're up there and you're trying to figure out, okay, how did I get up here? How do I get down? What do I do next? What do I do? That's hockey stick growth, right? So it's important to have all of your systems in place, all of your and know what your capacity is. This next company, they knew that stuff anyway, but what they didn't know, which no one knew, was what would happen, what a pandemic was going to do, right? And that's a lot of us. So this company that I worked with, they were doing great. They were about 5 years in, and the industry is home improvement industry. So just kind of picture where they are and what's going on. So one day, in September 2019, right? September 2019, we're chatting and everything's going well. We're moving into the fourth quarter, preparing for jobs that are coming up, have enough employees. It's a window replacement company. And window replacement company, what types of jobs they have in the fourth quarter. And we were just moving into the fourth quarter. The employees were set. You could make the argument that they weren't much growing. They were pretty slow and steady, nice and easy. This was a good, solid company doing about $4 or $5 million a year over the past 2 years. They didn't really experience any hockey stick growth. It was just startup growth. We also said earlier that do all companies experience hockey stick growth? No, you don't have to. You can grow just steadily. And that's what they did. Until COVID hit. And by the time we got to the beginning of 2020, this window replacement company, doing business became a real pain. Did you get that? Did you get that downtown? A real pain, window replacement? I planned that all week. That was the big joke of the day. Yeah, I heard that, Steve. That's fine. So now we're on lockdown. All the jobs stop, all the construction stops, and what are we going to do? So we went from nice and steady revenue complete. So waiting, so we had jobs that were completed in quarter 4 that were going to be paid out in Q1 of 20 that were suddenly not paid because people were locked down. People didn't have the money to pay. People didn't, and all the jobs booked for Qs 1, 2, and 3 were in jeopardy. We went from, gosh, I think at the time, I mean, it was, we were almost, we probably would have done, they'd have done close to, over $1 million in Q4, and then it just kind of came to a halt. It was bad. It was very bad. So this is a perfect example of something that they could not control. So you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, where's the hockey stick growth part? There's got to be an out. So this company is still in business, and they're in business better than they had ever been. And here's what happened. So they were doing well prior to the lockdown. During the lockdown, and this is what a lot of business owners did. This is an add-on to the hockey stick growth conversation. This is just a business thing that I'm just gonna toss at you. And most businesses were forced to do something different, forced to really, you talk about reimagine, the theme from last season, were really forced to reimagine themselves and their businesses during the lockdown. So they had to be creative. They had to think of ways to be nimble and to get through. And I would say they frankly didn't do much different. So they didn't like take a pivot and start doing, chopping down trees or whatnot. They fortunately for them. So this is a testament to being in a very good financial position to be prepared for things that don't go well, and that's kind of where they were. In fact, they were able to they got back up and running. After the lockdown in the first quarter, I would say about quarter 3, and no one got laid off. No one got laid off. Everybody stayed on. But here's the funny thing that happened. So by putting themselves in that great position from the beginning, so they had, going into the lockdown, they had no debt. They had no debt. They had all of their systems in place, all of their financial systems, lead capture systems, all of that stuff was in place. Their employees were happy. Their employees were in place, and they were at capacity. So they didn't expand too quickly. They didn't hire when they didn't need to hire. They didn't have, their warehouse space was proper warehouse space. It was not underused. It was not overused. It was they were doing things the right way, which helped them to get through this crazy time. What ended up happening with them, though, because of that, when the housing market and buildings started opening back up and whatnot, because that was one of the first the first industries to kind of get back going, building and replace. So that what they did do is, while they were doing more, they had been doing more replacement windows in homes. That kind of stopped. But home building, what they were able to do, they benefited from being there. So they were one of only a handful of companies that were able to sustain themselves, and they were ready for the phone calls that they got from the builders as they started to build, as they came out of as the country slowly started to open up. So here's the hockey stick growth. Their revenue in where are we? So their revenue in so that would have been Q4 and Q1 of 21. It was up like 400% year over year because they were there. They were there, and it was hockey stick growth for them. But again, they had all the systems in place. This was so not a problem for them because they just kept doing what they were doing, but they kind of shifted a bit to the builder market instead of the homeowner market. Now the homeowner market is picked back up. So now I would expect that to increase. So that 400% should increase. Now we're talking about capacity. We might need to hire more people, hire more salespeople, hire more installers and such. But that's how it works. That's a great story. So the front end, doing all the hard work on the front end, prepared them for something they could not control. Now in the next segment, we're going to talk about a company that had control over the opportunity that they were chasing. We consulted on it. I advised them on it. They did most of what I said, not all of what I said, and we'll see what happened to them when we come back from the break. You are listening to and watching No Nonsense Market Domination. I am David Wilson, Business Savage. We will see you on the other side. All right. Good one. Oh, okay. Boy. Took a lot out of me. I don't know. It's I'm definitely needing my hydration today. All right. So speaking of businesses reopening and coming back out of the pandemic and restarting, a lot of those businesses, maybe some of them are your businesses. You need capital. And you need capital quickly. Sometimes you can go to a bank, sometimes you can't. And if you can't go to a bank due to a challenge in the areas of credit, collateral, or time, either time in business or time in which the funds are needed, you can come to my company, Fund You Up, where we help businesses just like yours get funding when traditional means are not available. So we average about between 24 and 48 hours on our funding times. And if you need funding like that for working capital because you're waiting for a contract to pay, if you need to make payroll, need to buy new equipment, need to take advantage of a new opportunity by a competitor, you are listening to the guy that runs the company that can help you to do that. So just go to fundyouup.com. That's www.f as in Frank, U, N as in Nancy, D as in David, U, P as in Peter.com. And get pre-qualified to see how much you can get in about 24 to 48 hours to help your business grow. Yes. All right. Thank you for watching. Appreciate that. We will be live in 30 seconds. 30 seconds to live, 30 seconds to live. Here we go. Welcome back to the Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. No nonsense market domination here on IBGR.network. Profit Radio. Profit Radio. We are being broadcast internationally every Wednesday at 3 p.m. to over 80% of the countries all across the globe. It's amazing. It's amazing. At IBGR, we are a group of entrepreneurs with varying talents, expertises that we bring to the table to help business owners just like you get from where you are to where you want to be. So no matter what stage of business you are in, from pre-startup to startup, growth to hockey stick growth, to slow and steady, nice and easy. This business is going great. I can pull out of the business. It runs itself. Everything is going well, too. I want a valuation of this business because I want to sell it and I want to retire. No matter which of those stages you are in, we can help you. Come grow with us. Come grow with us. Today's topic. Whoa, this growth is out of control. We're talking about hockey stick growth. Remember to stick around for that dispellation. I think that's a word. When you dispel something. Hold on. Yes, I keep a dictionary right here, an actual dictionary. Dispel. This is live television, folks. Dispel, D-I-S-P. If I could see it, D-I-S-P-E-L-P-E. Last time I went to the eye doctor, they were like, "Oh yeah, you don't need those glasses yet, but you will." And I was like, "Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so." And as I was leaving, I walked into the wall. So dispelling. So dispel. All right. Anyway, the word nerd in me. Anyway, so we're going to dispel that myth in segment 4. So definitely want to stick around for that. Now we're talking about similar industry, so home care, and the hockey stick growth this company was experiencing. Before we dive into that, I do want to. We'll do that at the end. That's fine. But I do want to make sure that you're able to plug into the system. So if you hear something that kind of rings a bell to you and you recognize your company and one of the companies we're talking about, we'd love to have you plug into the system. So I am here to help you to plug into the system, and we can help you see what maybe you don't see, fix what needs to be fixed that you didn't know that needed to be fixed, and help you see your business in a different way so you can go to the next level as quickly as possible. Just go to www.gostartyouup.com. That's www.go START as in Peter.com, and you can schedule a Savvee session with me and get started on figuring out how to make your business the best it can be. Cool. Lawn care company. So this was a landscaping company. So to be clear, this was a landscaping company that was fairly new. So past pre-startup, startup, growing company. This company was about 2.5 years old. And what were we talking about? So we were talking about things that we cannot control. So COVID-19 was an outside influence we could not control. We also mentioned the things we could control and the things we can control as business owners, the opportunities we pursue. So they put this lawn care company was a I'm not even going to call them, I'll call them a lawn care company. What they did was they would cut grass, prune hedges, small trees for homeowners. That's what they did. So they did no commercial work at all. No commercial work. This was a relatively small company. They did about, they did north of 100, shy of 200K a year. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that that's what they did, right? So I want you to understand that this is not this is not the big trailers that you see parked outside of the mall, cutting the grass and keeping the parking lots clean. That's not what this company was. This was really just a guy and some equipment cutting grass. But he was growing, and he would get new houses, and he would grow. He plugged into my system looking for funding. Well, why do you need funding? Oh, well, I want to pursue, now here we go. I want to pursue a new opportunity. All right, what's the new opportunity? The new opportunity is with the city government, and it's in property management. Okay, tell me more. The reason I'm asking him these questions both as these are Savvy Session questions, but also they're funding questions, because I want to make sure that this guy knows what he's going to use this money for, so he can put it to its best use, right? So you want to pursue this opportunity to manage vacant properties for the city. And because we are a Black-owned business, we will. They are looking to do business with other Black-owned businesses, and we can get this contract. Okay, cool. Sounds good to me. Needed a relatively small amount of money, less than $10,000, to buy this new equipment. And I said, okay, well, what happens when you get the contract? Well, we'll find out if we get the contract in a couple days. Oh, so you are moving toward getting the contract now? Yes. So it was all okay. So challenge with credit, challenge with collateral, challenge with time in business, or time in which the funds are needed. So we needed these funds pretty quickly, because if they got this contract, here are some of the questions I asked. So we talked earlier about things to consider as we are moving through the growth stage, and we want to consider before and if we get to it, and before we get into the hockey stick growth stage. Do we have our systems in place, and are we at capacity? He was kind of at capacity now with his current equipment and himself. Did he have systems in place? Well, he had a phone. So he didn't really have any accounting systems in place. He didn't have any lead capture systems in place, and he didn't really have any billing systems in place. So nothing really. So my question to him was, what's going to happen when you get this contract? And let's say we get you the equipment. What's going to happen? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be rich. And I was like, okay. All right. So long story short, we did the deal. I convinced him, because of what he showed me, that he should get more equipment than he thought he would need. So this was equipment that would end up making that it would just shave time off of that property management. He would be able to cut grass faster. These fancy lawnmower type machines that he would cut grass faster. He called it something, I don't remember what it's called, but cut grass faster, and he's saving time, so he can do more of these properties and get paid faster. I asked him if he needed to, could he hire employees, and how quickly. He said, yes, I could hire employees, because I have brothers that I can hire that are waiting to work, and they have friends that are ready to work. Okay, so that was good. So we did the deal. He took my advice and got more equipment than he needed. He won the contract. Okay. This guy went from, so let's just say $120,000. He went from $10,000 a month to billing the city like $30,000 a month. And that was a huge. So now he's entering hockey stick growth. Here's the problem. I suggested that he put other systems in place. He did not take that advice, but he did take my advice regarding the employees. He did take my advice regarding the equipment, and he did need all of that equipment. Here's the thing. So in this particular example, what he had control over was the opportunity pursuit, right? And he took a chance. So this was not COVID time. So he took a chance with pursuing an opportunity that maybe was too big for him. But you know what? I could sense in his communication, I could sense in his body language that he was going to make this work, and he did. So today, this company does residential, a little bit of commercial lawn care, as well as the work with the city government. They're doing about $500,000 to $750,000 a year now, and they are prospering. It was very painful for them to get through that hockey stick growth because they didn't have the systems in place. I was able to help them get those systems in place, and it all worked out. So sometimes you just, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we just have to take a shot, and the shot is there, and we push through. And that's what they did. They pushed through hockey stick growth. All right. Get ready for segment 4, where we dispel that myth, and we're going to do it on the other side of the break. So we'll see you then. All right. Good. Going pretty well. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate them. Yes, good point. So speaking of hockey stick growth, the Versus Company is a musical streaming type of company. Was in hockey stick growth because it was acquired by Fight. Yes, I think that's a good comment from Anoint. And that's true. So when you are as business owners, so that exit, and what I should do, and I will do, I will modify. So it's like pre-startup to startup, growth to hockey stick growth, slow and steady, nice and easy business, or valuation for. So we say retirement, so because we're always doing stuff with ferrets and whatnot, but it could be we're growing this to sell it, and that's a great point, because that's always an option as well. And we'll say that on the air, and we'll say that on the air, and I'll make that point, because if you're in hockey stick growth and you've positioned yourself properly, then you are going to be visible for purchase, and it's not always purchased by a competitor. So we talk about that a lot on the show, but it's also could be purchased by another company who sees your company as a value to its current base. So good point. All right, gosh, we're almost done, guys. 30 seconds to live. Let's finish up strong. I think that's right. Yeah, that's it. Okay, here we go. Thank you for watching, everyone. Let's finish up in the 4th segment. Welcome back to the Savvy Show. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. No nonsense market domination here on IBGR.network, Profit Radio. Good point came in from a YouTuber. Good comment came in over the break regarding a particular hockey stick growth company called Versus. Versus is in virtual concerts, and they were recently purchased by a company called Fight. I don't want to get into the details of why they would do that, why they thought it ended up being a value add to their current client base / partnership opportunity. You're buying another asset to conglomerate an even better product. So you hear this all the time. So usually with large companies. So Google purchases company that does XYZ so that they can plug it right into the Google system and offer it to Google customers like that. So the final stage of business after slow and steady, nice and easy, and we're doing something with ferrets is if we're in the hockey stick growth stage. And I think no matter what stage we're in, usually it's going to be growth, hockey stick growth, or slow and steady, right? If we are doing that well and we're visible enough, we can be very attractive to a larger company who sees the value of buying us instead of building what you have. So I'd rather buy your company than invest in the technology, invest in the manpower, invest in the people, invest the time to build what you do and compete against you. It's much easier to buy you than to do that. And by doing that, you're also buying the customer base of the company as well. So it was a win. That's a great point. So keep that in mind as we're growing our companies. That this can happen. This can happen to you. It's very prevalent in the tech space. All right. Whoa, this growth is out of control. We are finishing up, and I promised you a nugget, and that we were going to the shift. The savvy shift is going to be dispelling this myth. How did I write it? Can a solopreneur experience hockey stick growth? So many times we think no. Well, why would that be possible? Well, here's an example. And this is a real example of a solopreneur, gentleman I work with, who dispelled this. And this is actually a COVID play as well. So this was as a result of COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown. Okay. In the beginning, we spoke about things you can control, things you can't control. As business owners also, we need to be aware of what's around us, and we need to have some intuition. We need to be aware. There's certain things we should know. There's certain things we should know if we can control them. So if we're paying attention, so there's intel that we should know about our businesses. There's things that we should intuit about our businesses and the way they run, the way they work, that enable us to take advantage of certain opportunities. Does that make sense? All right. This guy was a part-time, very, very part-time, what they call a gig worker, part-time gig worker, mostly driving. So he was in Uber. There's Uber, there's Lyft. He was Uber, and he did some food delivery, and he was just doing it part time. He had a job, and he did this part time, no problem. I didn't know him yet, so this was his story. Um, First off, so first thing we're gonna crush is his part-time. Let's stop using the term side hustle, because side hustle suggests that what you're doing is not a business. Um, I would just say if it's not a business, it's not a business. Don't call it one. It's okay if you have a hobby and you get paid a little bit to to do your hobby, right? If it's a business, it's a business, and if you're trying to grow it, then you're a business owner. And he was a business owner, albeit a part-time business owner. His mindset had to shift a bit, and I'll tell you how it shifted. So um, everything was going fine. He was comfortable. He was making enough money on his regular job. I didn't particularly like it, but he had his gig work that he did. And then all of a sudden, COVID-19 lockdown hit, and he lost both. So he lost his part-time business because they weren't doing it at the time, and then he lost his job because it was in the restaurant industry. All right, so now what? What does this have to do with hockey stick growth? You might be asking. So here's my argument, my challenge to him, and my challenge to him was, I asked him this question: when the lockdown happened, what did you see coming? And his true answer, his honest answer was, man, I was just trying to make some money so I could get something to eat. He didn't see anything coming, so he wasn't thinking of what could be coming down the horizon. A lot of us sitting, in the corners of our spare rooms, crying because of the lockdown. We had to think to ourselves, okay, what are we going to do to get through this? What shift are we going to make? What pivot are we going to make to get through this? His challenge was he wasn't looking at it as a business. He was able to benefit from what he should have known and could have known, and it was serendipitous. But it was also by virtue of just being plugged into that system. So he had no job. So he had no job and no part-time business. Long story short, so here's what he should have known. Looking back, he laughs now, looking back at this, because now, so let me back up. Well, let me fast forward. Now this is a company. His and he sees it as a company, and he's making over $150,000 gross, $150,000 a year as a gig worker. But this is all he does now. So he left the restaurant, and he said, "You know what? It would have been great if I could have known that I could have seen the opportunity where, okay, well, you're going to have a whole bunch of people who are, as we're on lockdown, but people have to go to doctor's appointments. People have to go to get medicine. People have to go to get food, but they can't go out. And, right now, neither can you, but maybe you can later." It just didn't make sense. So and we shared this, he said, I'll put in his words. He said, if I had been thinking like a business owner, I would have been sitting back like, okay, at some point this has to change if people are not allowed to go out of their homes. So there's got to be some mandate that's going to allow someone like me to take Steve to get his medicine, to take Steve to get his food, to take Steve to the doctor, or to go pick Steve's food up. And it did. It did. Thankfully, he was ready for that. Now, in context of hockey stick growth, was that hockey stick growth? It was for him, because there was a time he was working 12 hours a day. 12 hours a day, because it was just like back to back to back to back to back to back opportunities. You know, driving and picking up food, driving and picking up food, and what he when it clicked with him, and he started treating it like a business, it was like, well, wait a second, I could get another vehicle and I could hire a driver and I could make this and I could scale this. That's what you said, right? I could scale this. And it was like, yeah, you can scale it. So this cat ends up with his vehicle and 2 other vehicles with 2 other drivers that he works with, and they are killing it. And so the myth is that if you're a solopreneur, you cannot experience this hockey stick growth. Well, he absolutely did experience it. And so again, in this case, size did not matter. Growth is growth. Hockey stick growth is hockey stick growth. But it was a mindset play. And I'll leave you with this. We have to have, if we're constantly with a mindset of growth as business owner, it doesn't matter where we're starting. We're always going to take steps. We're always going to take actions to be better than we were yesterday and to grow it. So if you're not trying to grow your business, you're not trying to be better this year than you were last year, I would challenge that it's a hobby. But if you are, no matter where you're starting, just keep pushing and keep growing. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. Thank you for watching and listening to the Savvy Show on ibgr.network. We'll see you next time. Hey, yo, I hope you're not. Oh, no, we can't. Don't do that. Don't do that here. Don't do that here. We'll pick up. All right. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. That was a good show. Yes, big shift in how we think about our businesses. We can be 1,000 people. We can be one person. Constantly be thinking about ways to grow, ways to be efficient, more effective, and you'll never grow wrong. You'll never go wrong with that ever. Yeah, he's had that. So that last company has had multiple fundings. All of his fundings have been to buy vehicles. So, both of his fundings have been to buy vehicles, and he just keeps scaling, and it's working for him. So it's a really good story, and that's one of the things I love most about what I do is all these stories about businesses, some big, some small, some micro, and we're helping them get from point A to point B. I'm just happy that I'm able to be part of that journey with so many different people. It's not always easy, but we push through, and it's rewarding. It's rewarding. So thank you for being with me here. Next week, we are going to. I don't know what we're going to do next week because the topic is slow and steady, nice and easy, and that's kind of boring. So it seems boring. I don't know what we're going to do with that yet. So we'll figure that out. Figure out what we're going to do and the message we want. So I'll probably know by like 2:30 next Wednesday what we're going to talk about. Yeah, that's it. But for all you all watching, thank you very much for thank you very much for being on the show and watching. And we will see you next time on the Savvy Show. I'm David Wilson, the Business Savage. You've been watching No Nonsense Market Domination on Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Twitch. And thank you, Twitter. And we will see you next time.